Hello friends, in this video we will try to discuss one of the Python interview question. The concept is what is nested list and how to access the elements within the nested list. Okay, so before we enter into the nested list, first we will try to have a small glimpse of list. So generally what is list? A list is a data structure in Python that is mutable as well as changeable as well as ordered sequence of elements. Each element or value which is inside of the list is called an item, and it will be represented within square brackets. Okay, so that is what it is all about list. So we have already seen in our past previous videos. Now let's come back to the nested list. So the nested list is nothing but a list of list. It means a list inside another list, a declaration. Okay, or any list that has another list as an element, it mean to say a subset of list. And those can be helpful in order to create a matrix kind of structure. Okay, in order to store those sub list with the other data types. Let's try to see how to use or implement a matrix style within the nested list, and how to create a list inside list, and how to access those elements, which we will try to see into practical now. So let's try to jump in practical. So right now we are in IntelliJ IDE. Let's try to create sample file. Let's say sample list. Now topic is nested list. So as discussed, a nested list is list of list, means list inside another list. Okay, now and also sublist. Okay, now we will try to see, by taking some sample list, we will try to see how to access the elements. Let's say list 1. Now let's try to take up values. Let's say 10 comma 20 comma. Now let's try to take 30 comma 40. Okay, so now what we have done it. So this is the list. This list consists three elements. One is the first element is 10, second element is 20, and the third element is 30 comma 40, which is a part of sublist, is called it as one particular element. That is how even we can able to access it. Let's try to print and see. Let's say list 1. Now let's try to print it. It is see listing as usual what we have taken. Now let's try to print 1 of 0. So this will return the first element. Int object is not subscriptable. Okay, oh okay, list to 1 of 0. Now let's say we have 10. Okay, now let's try to access second element, list 1 of 1. Now so second element is 20. Now what if I try to access list 1 of, now let's say 2. See, the third element is coming, 30 comma 40 will be accessed as part of one particular element. Now what if I want to access only the nested list or means sub list first element. So square bracket include the 0, and then now let's try to access it. So it will be 30. Okay, so okay, let's try to include that into another step. Print of list 1. So second and 0. Now see, third element we have seen. Now in the similar fashion, if I want to access, just alter 0 to 1 to get the 40th element. So this is how we can able to create a nested list, means list inside the list, and this is how we can able to access the nested list elements. Okay, and this is how we can able to access the list elements. Okay, now we will try to see, it is also possible where we can able to implement the matrix kind of structure using the nested list. Now let's try to see how to do that. Now let's say 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma, let's say 40 comma 50 comma 60, let's say 70 comma 80 comma 90. Okay, now for time being, let's try to command this. Just give the proper space for the better visibility. No. Yes. Now I would like to print L directly. Means as usual it is going to print it all the elements. Now what if I want all the rows has to be printed? Okay, row wise I would like to print it. That is my area of interest. Now let's say print, let's say elements row wise print. So apply the for loop for x in L. Now let's say print of x. Okay, now let's try to run this. Let's try to see how this is going to print. See, it is listing in a matrix format: 10 20 30 40 50 60 70 80 90. Okay, now we will try to see, I don't want the square brackets even, so pure matrix style I would like to print it. So that case, how to handle this particular scenario? Let's say print elements in matrix style. Now let's say, let's use the same for loop for x in L. Now for y in x. Now let's print y comma end equal to, let's say, blank, and then use print of blank, because I am interested, because there will be a space. It should be space, has to be 10 space comma 20 space comma 30, and after that this should come the second row, I mean like a 40 50 60, all it should be based on the space, means delimiter it should be in space, it should be resultant. So let's try to run and see whether this is going to run as expected or not. See, it is listed in the pure complete matrix style, okay, without even the square bracket style. Okay, this is how we can able to access it. And let's try to see, just by creating a pure another scenario, we will try to see, we will try to take directly matrix form. Okay, matrix size, let's say 4 by 3. Now let's take matrix equal to 0 comma 1 comma 2. Now let's say 3 comma 4 comma 5. Now let's say 6 comma 7 comma 8. Now let's say 9 comma 10 comma 11. So this is the pure matrix form which we have taken. Now I want to access an element of second row and the column 1, means row 2 and column 1. Okay, now we will try to see how to access that. Let's say accessing the element of or element on row 2 and column 1. Okay, so let's see what is row 2 and column 1 here. See, this is the row 2 and this is the column 1, means the element is third element, it should has to print. Now let's try to write into print statement that element of row 2 and column 1. Okay, now matrix of 1 of 0. Okay, now let's try to run this and we'll see. See, as discussed, the element has listed third element. Okay, because this is a row wise and this is column wise. Second row first column means column 1 means third element. Like this, let's try to print accessing the element on, let's say, row 3 and column 2. Okay, so let's guess what might be the answer for this. Let's say print element of row 3 and column 2. Okay, comma matrix of, let's say, 2 and 1. Now what might be the possible answer element which we can expect the output of this? Row 3 means this is the 1, column 2 means this is the 1, 7. So my guess is answer is 7, and let's try to run and see. See, it has written the 7th element. Okay, now so this is how we can able to, fetch any number of nth number of element in a given matrix. Okay, now so this is all about nest list as well as the nested list as well as the matrix form. How can we achieve by using the nested list? Okay, so I hope everybody understand this. If you really like this, please do subscribe, like it, and please do the comment it. Bye.